Good afternoon. Welcome to Under One Roof MTL, where we are demystifying home ownership 1 week at a time. My name is Robin Flynn, joined as always by Fred Pichette and Martin Spalding of Fred and Martin Mortgages. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
I got some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news.
Good news, I hope.
I'm officially announcing that summer's over. Because you know what I saw this week? I saw some snowmaking at Tremblant.
Whoa.
Next Friday is Halloween.
Wow,
We fall back, and I got my flu shot.
Yeah.
So summer's over.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Breaking
you
news.
heard it here first.
Breaking news.
You know what? Summer lasted a long time this year. Like, we were shorts and my husband wears shorts and t-shirts till the very bitter end. And last weekend he was still in shorts and t-shirt outside.
If my life could be short,
Wasn't last week in 20 degrees?
Yeah, it was 20 degrees outside. We got LJ Aguinaga back from LJ Realties. Hey, LJ.
How's it going?
LJ,
Congratulations.
I've been on paternity leave. That's where I've been. Yeah.
Where you been?
I've been all over.
Are you
Very,
getting some
very
sleep?
busy.
Yeah.
Very
Getting
busy
some-
in a different way.
Yeah.
Getting some sleep?
Some sleep.
Okay.
That's normal, to be expected.
Muzzle tough.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you so
Very
much.
happy for you. We are also very happy to have you back, of course. Now, LJ, you don't realize this because last week we talked extensively about the stress test and what it is,
Wow.
how it works, all of that. So, our question for you this week, our trivia question, it will reward you if you listened to the show last week. Brought to you by Felix and Norton Cookies. Of course, if you have the correct answer to our question this week, you will win cookies from Felix and Norton. Our question this week, what is the stress test for mortgages in Canada? So if you can text it at 514-790-0800, include your name so we can give you a shout out at the end when you win your cookies. Try and get in quick because we usually pick the first one to get it right. 514-790-0800. Guys, there's so much going on in the news this week.
Is there?
Just a little. Whether you're looking at locally, we've got a big election coming up next weekend in Montreal. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem said that Canada's labor market is, quote, soft, despite recent data that showed the country's been adding jobs, especially in September. We know that the job market factors into the Bank of Canada's interest rate announcement. Martin, you're the only person I've seen bringing up this very important factor as well. The federal government has a budget to announce soon.
It's funny because, you look at all the data that came out this week. So inflation reared its ugly head. So it's up 2.4 in September. So what's driving that? Food prices, 4% year over year in September. Question for LJ very quickly. Rent costs also continue to climb. In Quebec, rents surged 9.6%, mainly in the Montreal market.
Interesting.
Are you seeing that?
I would tell you that it's the softest rental market I've had in the last 5 years.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, so I'm seeing quite the opposite. Now, again, my job, obviously, working with landlords is to maximize the rental potential. I've done a very good job of maximizing that rental potential over the last 5 years. So if anything's going to pull back, the highest price units in the market for each segment is what's likely the first thing to pull back, which is why I've probably noticed that the market's softer on my end. Yes, if you're still looking at units that were renting for $800 a month, $900, $1,000, anything of that nature, sure, 9% could happen, no problem. $100 jump is quite normal in the Montreal market because those units are typically worth, I'd say, $1,400 to $1,600 that are so far below where they could be right now. And that's why when somebody sees something at that 9% increase, I would see it. But I've gone as far as lowering the price by $150, $200 a month on some of the units that we rent out because they weren't renting.
wow.
Well,
So if you go back to the initial question, the budget.
Yeah.
So the way I'm hearing, the way I'm seeing it, I think it's going to be a mixed bag of cuts, austerity measures, and infrastructure spending. And how is that going to impact inflation? How is that going to impact interest rates? How is that going to impact the Bank of Canada's decision? But Fred and I were talking about it just before we came into the studio. And as they say, only fools don't change their minds. And so I was convinced that with everything that we're seeing, there would not be a cut on the 29th. I'm changing my mind.
Ooh.
I think there will be a cut. I think they will go down by 25 basis points. They're not really factoring in the budget right now. And from the other data, the economy is not going in the right direction. It needs some stimuli. And I think the Bank of Canada is going to lower it by 25 basis points.
and Martin, what about the new announcement of Donald Trump that he's going to increase the tariff by 10%?
You mean on his way to Asia? Sticks his head out on Air Force One, sticks his head out and says, oh, by the way, I think we're going to ding Canada by another 10% because he is unhappy about the commercials that Premier Ford was running in the States.
Well, he's also got a ballroom to pay for, guys. He's already over, what, his $35 million ballroom that he's building?
$350
sorry.
And he's already demolished East Wing with no permits. I was actually watching Bill Maher on Friday night. He goes, it took me 3 years to install my solar panels in California. Donald Trump takes a decision to build a ballroom, says it's not going to touch the White House, but without any permission, without asking anyone, what do you think? He tears down the East Wing and starts building his ballroom.
Did they forget to register the White House as a historical landmark?
It is a historical landmark.
Oh, boy.
But you know what? And Bill Maher said it best. Here's a guy who doesn't look like he's planning to leave the White House anytime soon.
Did you see the Steve Bannon interview this week?
Third running.
Wow. Oh, boy. Okay, well, we don't want to get too much.
So
Yeah, we're off topic
coming
here.
back to interest rates, I think 25 basis points on the 29th.
Interesting. LJ?
I'm in that camp, to be honest. I know when we spoke last time, I was saying 50 basis points before the end of the year. I was a little bit reticent when I saw that inflation was up to the 2.4% mark. I thought that might be a blocker. But again, with everything going on in the world, I think it only makes sense to bring it down a little bit to try and give some of that relief that Canadians are so desperately looking for at this point.
Fred, what do you think?
Well, I think I agree with my colleagues. 0.25, I think it's
So rare all three of you agree.
No, but a couple of weeks ago, people say, no, in October, we're not going to have a rate cut. It might be going to be at the end of the year. But now 2/3 of the economists are going, thinking that we will have a rate cut, which is, I think it's possible, especially with Donald Trump saying that another 10% will come to the tariff.
And you mentioned food prices, Martin. Like the difference in the cost of food right now is just unbelievable. I love making beef bourguignon once it's officially no longer summer because I just love having it on the stove stewing all day.
You just love saying that.
I know, beef bourguignon sounds delightful, but I had bought a package of like beef stewing cubes, at the grocery store, not realizing, I had some in the freezer from like a year ago that I should really use up. They're the exact same size. One was $21 and the one I bought this week was $38.
$35? Yeah.
It's unreal.
I was at the market yesterday, bought a couple steaks, nothing, not filet mignon, just a couple steaks, like kind of, steak frit kind of steaks.
Yep.
$40.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried for the middle class, to be honest.
Yeah.
Honestly.
They're already struggling.
Scary.
Yeah. I've heard from food banks that most of their clientele are people who work full time who are coming and making use of a food bank. That's a little frightening. Yeah. But hopefully things start looking up. Decreasing interest rates will make a huge difference for people who are thinking of getting into the housing market. This was interesting. So our new federal housing minister, Gregor Robertson, if that name sounds familiar, he used to be the mayor of Vancouver. He says that the average price of housing must fall to restore affordability in Canada, but not necessarily individual home values. I'm very curious how we can decrease the average price of housing without devaluing homes. Like, this doesn't seem possible. One can't happen without the other. How do we do this? How do we make houses more affordable without destroying, the retirement nest eggs for the people who have worked all their lives and invested in their housing?
It's impossible.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I think it is possible.
Interesting.
We had to disagree, right?
Of course.
So it does sound counterintuitive, but it depends what kinds of homes you are building and what kinds of homes are being sold, right?
Okay.
So here's how it could work, because the key word here is average price, right? So if you start building lower price condos or townhouses, that will pull down the overall average. If more modest homes are sold compared to luxury homes, the average price drops even if no one's individual home price goes down. If there are sales happen in cheaper areas compared to high-priced cities, the national average will come down.
Yeah.
The average price is just math. I know that LJ studied economics, so we're going to finish this through. It reflects what's selling, not necessarily every home's worth. So the average price can fall without a crash. It's about changing the mix of homes and markets, not widespread price drops. LJ?
Mathematically speaking, that is very sound calculation.
Thank you.
However, when we take
I
a
worked
step
hard
back,
on that because I saw it coming when Robin sent it to us.
the reality is, I was talking to a client 2 months ago, and he was super interested in this townhouse in Brossard, and that's what we're looking at. If I were to poll the three of you, how much do you think this townhouse in Brossard, so attached on either side, townhouse in Brossard, 3 levels, garage parking?
600.
Okay, we got 600 from Fred.
I'd say 715.
715.
I'd say in between 9 and $1 million.
Yeah, I think it was 1.1 tax.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
So we just went from 3 people who are pretty educated in general real estate. We talk about it every single week for the last 2 years plus. And we spoke about a neighborhood which is in the downtown core, which is close enough and has access to transport and obviously is very commutable, and a townhouse that's brand new on 3 floors again, but was over $1 million.
Wow.
The reason I know is because I live in Côte Saint-Luc, and Côte Saint-Luc is the land of townhouses with underground garage.
Sure.
So it's common garages with townhouses, and everything is between 950 and 1.2, 1.3.
But I would expect that on the island of Montreal. As soon as I get off island, wow.
That's why I want to throw that curveball. So
Yeah.
yes, you're right. We're going to have to go further, but we're probably going to need extra transport infrastructure to make that a reality.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the REM being completed. Isn't the new section of the REM opening in a few weeks?
For sure, but that's going to go to the West Island and De Montagne.
Yeah.
That's not
We
very
need-
far off island yet.
As someone who lives on the South Shore, I would love and welcome more options. Okay, so you've decided you want to buy your first home, or maybe you're getting back into real estate investing, but you haven't purchased property in a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades. It's been a while. You're not sure what the rules are.
3 decades.
It's possible. Maybe you bought your home, you
That's a
raised your
big gap.
family, the kids moved out. It's been 20, 30 years,
Fred,
and
how long
now
ago did you buy your house?
22 years.
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
your partner.
My dad has been in the same
Partner at work.
house since 1992. He's thinking about downsizing one day because he no longer has children living at home, and he's got a 5-bedroom house. That's a lot.
My in-laws have been in the same house for over 3 decades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is pretty common. And then people eventually want to downsize.
I'm on a 10-year cycle, max.
You're different, Martin.
Okay, so excluding Martin's journey, I thought you wanted to move to like a farm and buy a.
do.
He's
Okay.
approaching that 10-year.
Exactly.
Well, because we're going to wind down. We're getting older, and I'd love to have it's called a fermette.
A mini farm, if you
gentleman
will.
farm.
Yeah. You can have
But
rabbits.
I'd like a couple donkeys. And
Couple
I'm sure my
donkeys?
wife's listening, and she's laughing because
Some
she knows I
chickens?
love donkeys.
Victoria wanted to go see rabbits today, so if you can get some rabbits in that little fermette, I'll come over every weekend.
For sure.
Quinn Farm has bunnies, by the way, and
They
they do you pick for pumpkins and apples this time
But
of year.
isn't Quinn
Yes.
Farm, isn't it closed?
No, we
No,
go
for
every
real?
year.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you sure it's still open?
100%.
Because I was riding my bike out there. It looked close to me.
Was it during the week?
Yeah, they're very dead during the week. I think they close on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay, well, double check that. Actually, when we go to spots, we'll double check.
Well, I
We'll come
bought
back
my
after the
ticket
break.
for next weekend,
Oh,
so I
you
hope
did.
they're still open.
I tend to be ill-informed.
The kids love it, I will say. They've got the animals you can go see. You can go on the little hay wagon, hay ride, whatever it's called. Anyway, it's a lovely time.
Okay.
But let's say you've decided you want to buy a mini farm, or you're ready to downsize, or you are, newly married and you're looking to buy your first home with your partner. What can you expect from the home buying process? There's no one that knows this process better than LJ Aguinaga from LJ Realty. So, LJ, somebody comes to you and says, LJ, I want to buy a house. What is the very first thing that they should do?
You go to www.meetwithlj.com and you plan a meeting with me.
Perfect.
Step 1. In that meeting, we're going to go through the entire buying process. I'm going to walk you through what are the costs associated to it, what are the timelines associated to it, what happens when at which point in time. One of the very next things we're going to do is get you pre-approved. So we'll connect you over with Fred and Martin, make sure what is our actual budget, how much do you actually want to spend. Those two numbers are not necessarily the same. And from there, we're going to start a search for properties. After we have that search, we'll start visiting the properties, and then we'll go through the due diligence stage. We'll draft offers, we'll look at comparables, we'll assess value, we'll do inspections, document review, we'll get a firm approval on financing for the specific property, and then we'll be preparing you to go to the notary, get you insurance, have all the utilities transferred over, and get ready for the things that happen after the closing. So like your move, like welcome tax, so much to do. But again, we go over this in that first meeting. You come out with either a PDF booklet or with a presentation that you can review at any point in time. We do calculations together to understand what simulations of costs are going to look like for different price points for condo fees, no condo fees, taxes, etc. And I give you the best idea possible what it's all going to look like, so that there's no surprises along the way. I personally hate surprises whenever I'm making any major decisions, especially when they're related to money. Nobody wants to be hit with a surprise $20,000 bill. So because of that, our first meeting where we go through the entire purchasing process and my buyer's consultation, if you will, is super important.
Absolutely. How many properties should somebody expect to visit during that process? Because I think some people are worried about being annoying. They don't want to be indecisive. They've seen maybe 5, 6, 7 properties. Like, well, I guess I got to pick one of those, but none of them felt right. That's probably a bad play.
That's a terrible play.
Yeah.
Right. So there is no right answer. Right. This is I tell people that we always have to get mileage under our feet. Right. So people are a lot of time coming like, LJ, I don't want to waste your time. Like, I don't want to go and, like, guys, first of all, this is my job. This is what I do every single day. If it wasn't for you wanting to buy properties, I would be unemployed and I would have a much larger issue. So please don't feel bad about wasting my time, quote unquote. If you have a serious interest in acquiring a property or learning about real estate, you're not wasting my time. That's how it goes. When people ask me how many properties we're going to see, I mean, I tell them anywhere from 5 to 15 is kind of the average, but I've seen 50 plus properties with somebody and I've seen 2 properties with somebody. It really comes down to how clear you are on what you're looking for, how long it takes us to get clear on what we're looking for. Sometimes that evolves over time, family dynamics change, you get a new job along the way, whatever it might be that it makes things evolve. And then we're going to know when we find the right property, we're going to walk in, we're going to walk out with a completely different feeling. We're going to get that tingly kind of, and everyone makes fun of me when I say it, but you're going to walk out and you're going to know this is the one. Finally, we found the right property, and that's the feeling that we're looking for. We're not looking to settle on the largest purchase of your life.
Poker faces, though, guys, because when we found our house, you could see it all over my face, and our real estate agent was like, Robin, chill. You gotta relax. Watch your face. So poker face is important, especially if the other person's real estate agent is there.
Correct. So we're going to discuss it after the visit, but it's very much we're never forcing you or pressuring you into buying. If we haven't found the right thing, we haven't found the right thing. And sometimes that means that people don't end up buying. They stay renting for a longer period of time. Sometimes we pivot. We were initially looking for a condo, and then the person got into a relationship along the way, and now we want a house. Or maybe somebody got pregnant along the way, and now they're ready to buy a house as well. Or maybe they decide they want to go the investment route because they might want to move to Europe for a couple of years for sabbatical, or even just take a job in the US, whatever it might be, and they want the flexibility of renting it out and continuing to own the property. So we're going to evolve with your search, however that plays out, but we're there to guide you and support you every step of the way.
What happens if you sit down with a couple and they're completely polar opposite? Like, one wants a ranch house, the other one wants a condo, and how do you bridge that gap? How do you actually find something that's going to check off both their boxes?
So the first thing we do is we try to find out the why, right? Because people come in with their predetermined, preconceived ideas, but my job is to understand what is really driving that want. So the person who wants the large ranch, they clearly want space, they want privacy. Okay, why do they want this? Do they have a lot of toys? Do they have recreational vehicles? Do they just like privacy because of something that happened? Once I can peel back the initial request to understand what is driving that request, I might be able to find something that works for both of them to make it play. Sometimes we establish that really one person grew up in the farm, one person grew up in the city, and making those two things mesh is not going to be super simple, but eventually we either find out that we're not going to find anything that works, so one person's going to have to make a sacrifice, or we're going to find this happy medial, which might be a home in the suburbs with 10,000 square feet of land, which isn't quite a farm, but it's also not in the city, and you're still, you know who your neighbors are, but they're not right on top of you. It's kind of figuring out what this balance is of things.
The debate I see sometimes is, should I buy a house or a duplex if I'm a first-time home buyers? What do you think about that?
So I tell people always that if you're interested in a duplex, that is the best financial move you can make, right? So if you're open to living with tenants above you or putting your parents above you or whatever it might be, then that is the most financially sound thing you can do. Now, if you don't want that because you've had this home ownership dream and you've always expected this white picket fence and you want to have your own piece of land with nobody above or below you, that's totally fine too. But it's just understanding what is important to you and what we're going to get you into first. And sometimes we'll get you into a duplex first, and then in 5 years we'll get you into a single family home. There is no be-all, end-all. This is something that can evolve, and you can buy multiple properties as well.
You mentioned, LJ, that you don't like surprises, and I think that's true for most people, especially when it comes to money. What should home buyers budget for those closing costs?
Okay, so that number is really going to depend on your budget, effectively, in terms of what the purchase price is going to be, because some of these figures go up and down depending on the price of the property. But I would tell people that in general, closing costs are somewhere between $15,000 to $30,000, depending on your budget.
Okay. So you want to at least, let's say you've got money saved up for the down payment, deduct whatever the closing costs would be from that amount.
Exactly.
And make sure you put that aside.
For a lender, you need to show 1.5% in liquidity for closing.
Okay.
But in reality, you really should have 2, 4, 6%, because when you move into a new place, and we've talked about this time and time again, you buy the property, it's got a washer and dryer, then you realize when you move in, the washer and dryer don't work. All of a sudden, you're moving from an apartment into a home. you realize there's a lawn that you need to mow. There's a drive that you need to snow removal. You need all these things. If you're strapped when you move in, you're going to find it tough the first year that you're living in your new house.
No one wants to be house poor.
No.
If you're not sure if now is the right time to buy your first home, give LJ a call. He'll help you figure it out. 514-500-4040. He will help you decide what is the right move for you. Somebody texting in at 514-790-0800. I miss privacy with condo living. Big mistake for me, but my husband loves it. I'm Robin, that's Fred, that's Martin, that is LJ. We just got a text message, guys, that I'd love to throw to you if I may. If at any point you have any questions for the guys, you can send them in to 514-790-0800. This texter says, for a 67-year-old senior who is about to retire, do you suggest buying a condo alone instead of continuing to rent if she has the down payment? So it sounds like she's got money saved up potentially for a down payment. She's still working, but about to retire and currently renting. Should she purchase a condo?
Well, first, at 67 years old, she's not that whole. That's
Yes.
number one.
Thanks, Fred.
Yeah. And second, I think if she lives another 20, 25, 30 years, keeping renting is going to cost her a lot of money.
Yeah.
I would say now that she's still working, it's worth the try to see for how much she will qualify. And on the top of it, she currently works and she has the down payment. I would say buying is the best option.
I've always been a buyer. I always believe in buying and building equity. So, yeah, no, but it doesn't matter what age you are. And today, my mother-in-law is 101 years old. So 67 is young today.
Very.
Yeah.
And not to mention she's about to retire. I think you mentioned off air, Martin, that probably a good idea to see if you can get qualified before you retire, right?
Well, you still have a decent income because pension income could make it a little bit more difficult to qualify you.
Don't forget the 3 pillars of qualification come down to your credit, your down payment, and your income. So right now, if she's still working, she's got that solid income. Now's the time to do it if she is considering it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And if that's something you're interested in, go to fredandmartin.com and you can chat with Fred or Martin or Fred and Martin
And get you pre-approved.
and get you pre-approved.
And then once you're pre-approved, we send you over to LJ.
Perfect. It's like a one-stop shop. I love it. Okay, speaking of pre-approvals, you
Look
guys
at that.
want to talk this week about pre-approvals. I love when you frame things like this, the ABCs of pre-approvals, which makes me feel like I'm going to learn something, and I love learning.
Okay, so what is a pre-approval? So basically, your finances are reviewed, which will indicate to us how much a lender is likely willing to lend you and at what rate. A pre-approval today is mandatory. And I'm looking at LJ. Real estate agents demand it. It's not an option. They demand it. If you're not pre-approved, you're not going to be taken seriously. And also, on your side of the ledger, it's your green light to start shopping because then you establish what your budget is. That is a very top line. What is a pre-approval? Now, what are the steps to a pre-approval? I can tell you how Fred and I do it.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right. So step 1, very similar to what LJ does. We organize an onboarding meeting. That can be done in person. That can be done on the phone. It can be done by Zoom. Fred and I are old school. We like to meet people. So either you come to us, we'll go to you. We're happy to hop in the car and come and sit in your place. We'll ask you what your goals are. What do you want to do and what's your timeline? And we've said this time and time again, the more open you are with us, the more accurate our pre-qualification will be. Because, very similar to LJ, no one likes surprises.
Yeah.
Step 2, we'll ask you to fill out our online application. It takes about 10 minutes. Again, accuracy is critical. Then, Fred often says it, documentation. So, one thing is what you put in the application. It needs to be supported by your documentation. What kind of documents? So we're looking for a couple pieces of ID, proof of income. So letter of employment, pay stub, T4s if you're employed, T1s if you're self-employed, plus your notice of your federal and provincial notice of assessments. Why? Because the lender will want to make sure that you don't owe any back taxes, because then it gets into a legal hypothek, and that's the last thing they want. Then we'll ask you to sign a consent form so we can run your credit. The credit gives us all your current debts and all your monthly obligations, because what we'll need to do is analyze your ratios. There are 2 debt ratios, GDS, TDS. We just did this with Robin and her husband.
Yep.
And we want to make sure that whatever your future payments on your future mortgage are that with everything that you've got going, that it works for you, that financially you can support that. The documents can be uploaded directly into our portal. You can send them to us by email. Some people find our portal a little bit frustrating.
I love your portal. It made it so easy to upload everything I needed to upload.
How old are you, Robin?
Exactly.
I am 38 years old.
Yeah.
So once the analysis is done and we determine your maximum loan amount, that gives you that price range. When you go and sit down with LJ, you say, I'm pre-approved. I can buy a home for $600,000 with a mortgage of $400,000 or whatever it is. But we always say to people, just because you're approved for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 doesn't mean you should go out and spend that, because then you're at the maximum of your limits.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you need to buy a lawnmower, you need to buy a new fridge, you need to paint the place, you need to repave the driveway.
Or if interest rates change.
Like now?
Like now, it could become a little bit more difficult.
It could be challenging for people that signed 5 years ago at 2% before at COVID time, and now they're at 4 or low 4. It's a game changer.
So, and the secret between the time you're pre-approved and the time that LJ finds you a place is stability. So don't go out and lease a car for $100,000 a year with $2,000 payments, because that'll throw everything off. So your income and your debts need to stay the same. Your down payment needs to stay the same. So stability through the process is critical. Once we have done all this, there are two ways. We can send you our pre-qualification letter, or we can actually submit your file to a lender to hold a rate. The rate that you will get is a pre-approval rate, which is not necessarily the best rate in the market, but it is a pre-approval rate. That can be held for 90 to 120 days. So if rates rise, you're protected because you got a lower rate. If rates fall, most lenders will adjust that rate to the new rate. Then what we do is we either send you our pre-approval letter, which you will hand to LJ and his team, or we'll submit your file and get a pre-approval note from a lender, and then you're good to go. So again, this is your green light to start shopping, because you know the parameters of what you can afford and what your mortgage payments are going to be.
And how much does this whole process cost the home buyer?
Well,
Fred?
actually, it doesn't. It's a good question, Robin. Actually, it doesn't cost anything.
Zero.
People don't realize that.
No, but
Nada.
yeah, I'm happy that you mentioned that question, because we got that every week. Hey guys, what's your fees? How much you're going to charge me to do this? Absolutely zero. Why? Because if we do a residential transaction, we get paid by the lender or the banks, which is, I encourage people to use their knowledge in mortgages and to get pre-qualified, because it's worth it. It doesn't cost you anything.
Because, you know, every file teaches us something,
Yep.
because every file is different.
Yep.
And we hope that through this process that you will learn what the pre-qualification, the acquiring a mortgage, buying a home, what it entails, and so that you can make a more enlightened decision when you sign on the dotted line at the notary.
And it's a very easy process, having just been through it with you guys as we refinanced our mortgage. And I know you guys, I see you every single week, but my husband doesn't know you guys very well. And he said, Fred, after our meeting with you, he said, wow, Fred's such a great guy. Fred was talking to him about the Habs. Like, David was just absolutely loved him, totally charmed by him. So I think you guys are just great to work with.
Thanks,
Sometimes
David.
we got to keep Fred focused, because Fred is the type of guy who's just curious about life.
Yeah. Should have been a journalist.
Well-traveled, loves sports, and he loves to chat with people.
David is always wearing a Habs jersey or a Habs t-shirt. His office, his little man cave is all hockey. So, yeah.
You know, I'm a people person. I
Yep.
love to help people. And
You're in the right line of work then, my friend.
Because, you know, prior to this, Fred was in the restaurant business.
Yep.
And so, you know what? To run a successful restaurant is you have to take interest in your clients.
Right.
And I can
100.
just imagine how Fred used to work the floor.
Oh.
Thanks.
Huh?
That your bar tab at the end of the night, if you were a
Thanks a lot,
customer at
guys.
his restaurant, would be high. Fred is blushing, by the way.
One more thing. LJ checked, and Quinn's Farm is?
Quinn's Farm is open.
There you
Yes.
go.
Okay, good. My
So
tickets
I
for
must have gone
next
by on a
weekend.
Monday or Tuesday, because they're
Yeah.
closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
That
Or
makes
after
sense.
5 p.m.
Or after 5 p.m. Yeah, makes sense. But
Mea culpa.
take the kids to see the bunnies, LJ. All this to say, they've got bunnies. Okay, to find out more about your lending options, get in touch with Fred and Martin. You can go to their website at fredandmartin.com. Their phone numbers. You can even book a meeting with them, all on that website. This is Under One Roof MTL on CJD 800, the place where we debate very lively conversations off the air.
It was getting ugly in here.
Was it? Everybody's respectful. Everybody has their own opinions.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That is democracy, my friends. I'm so excited that we have our property of the week back this week. LJ, what do you have for us?
If you're looking for style and simplicity in the heart of Hochelaga, welcome to 590 Rue Nicolet, apartment 202, a sleek two-bedroom condo that was built in 2022, offering clean modern finishes, tons of natural light, and 2 private balconies, one in the front and in the back. If you thought that was all, this unit even has its own heated garage. You have the benefits of an open layout and an efficient design. You're steps away from parks, shops, great cafes, and transit. This is smart city living at just $425,000.
Wow.
Visit ljrealties.com or call 514-500-4040 to book your showing today. And back to our top picks. I actually have 3 top picks for you. We're going to play this up a little bit. So, if you're looking for the best coffee in the area, go check out Spedzira. They've got awesome coffee. They also have an awesome beet salad that I had last time I was there, which was awesome. If you're looking for the best burger in the area, pick up Resto. Couldn't have a more fitting name. And then for the best buvette, check out Rufus and Anna.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Spedzira, is that Greek?
I think it's Italian.
Italian? Okay, because I remember that Dalgona coffee that
I had this feeling when I was in there.
Yes. But do you remember the Dalgona coffee that was going viral during COVID? It was all over TikTok. It was like the whipped coffee with sugar.
Oh, like a Greek
Dalgona.
frappe.
Yeah, exactly. I was curious if you could get a good one there. I was like, ooh,
TikTok?
Spedzira.
What's TikTok? Is that happening on Facebook?
We established earlier today that you're not a boomer, okay?
Gen X, okay.
You're on the cusp, I get it. But like,
Okay, I also want to get to the answer for our trivia question this week because we were rewarding listeners of the show last week where we discussed the stress test in depth. So if you were listening last week, should have been an easy one for you. What is the stress test for mortgages in Canada? A stress test for mortgages in Canada is a rule that ensures borrowers can afford their mortgage payments even if interest rates rise or their income decreases. For federally regulated lenders like banks, this means borrowers must qualify at a rate that is higher of the negotiated rate plus 2% of the current benchmark rate. So Allison correctly answered this question. So Allison, you're going to be getting delicious cookies from Felix and Norton. You should check them out, by the way, at the Blue Haven Shopping Center. That's 3705 St. John's Boulevard in DDO.
And no, you don't have to run on a treadmill. And we're not going to hook you up to a machine. It's not a stress test.
Yeah, people hear stress test and they think, my ticker's all right. I think I'm fine.
I'm okay.
Yeah. So we did get some people texting in. We didn't really have a ton of time to answer those questions, but I wanted them to know, like Eric and St. Lazare, we took note of your question. Listen next week, and we're going to make sure that we get an answer for you.
Or call us at the office.
Yeah, if you can't
call
wait.
LJ, call Fred and I, and we're happy to answer your question.
Don't wait. Just wait till the show's over. Don't call them now.
Right.
That has happened. People have tried to call you during the show. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. You have to wait till the show is done. We're done in about 5-6 minutes. That pretty much is it for us for this week, but I do want to make sure we get out contact info so that people can get in touch with you guys individually. LJ, where do people go to reach you?
check out our website, ljrealties with an IES.com, or on all socials with the handle LJ Aguinaga. That's LJAGUINAGA, or LJ Realties. You can also call or text me at 514-500-4040. And if you're looking to free up some time, contact my property management company, Plex Doctor, to take over and give you your time back. You can find us at plexdr.com or 514-709-6397.
I fell down a YouTube rabbit hole on your channel yesterday, LJ, because you have such great content. Like, I already love the stuff you post on Instagram, but it's short, right? 90 seconds at most. On YouTube, you've got some longer form stuff, and there's so much great information there.
Did you? That's so good to hear. That channel's been growing. I think we just cleared 33 or 3,500 subscribers.
Wow.
It's been growing a lot this year. Mara on our team has been doing an amazing job with it. It's been a labor of love, but it's been really exciting to see.
Yeah, if you noticed a little spike in followers yesterday, like all my videos suddenly got one extra view in one day. That was me.
Hey, Robin, a question for you. If I want to film some clips and I've got a small business, is that something you could do for me?
100%. I've got a new offer at Studio Canes right now, actually, for small businesses. It's $139 plus tax, and you get 45 minutes of studio time. So it's kind of cool because I've worked in radio for so long. I'm just going to sit there and interview you. I'm going to chat. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. questions. And then after that, we cut me out. No one cares about me. We just use all of this great content of you. So you walk away, by the time you get home or back to work, you're already going to have 8 edited short form clips in your Google Drive, ready to go, ready to be posted on social media.
That's a pretty good price, Robin.
Thank you very much.
How do we get in touch with you?
lestudio15.ca. You can book directly on the website. You can contact me. Everything is there. You can even see pretty pictures of the studio. I think it's quite pretty. I think
Good.
it's gorgeous. Lots of green.
I think
and-
LJ's used it already.
He has.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
He had a full day session, and it's getting busy, which is great. So
Well,
make sure you book soon.
Martin and I will go there. That's what I'm about
Maybe
to
it's
say.
our
yeah.
turn.
Yeah, exactly. Come, we'd be I might be able to cut you a deal.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, Fred, Martin, where do people go to reach you guys?
So what we're seeing a lot of these days are reverse mortgages. We're seeing a lot of refinancing. We're seeing a lot of people that want to get into the market. So if you want to get in touch with us, it's really simple. Through our website, fredmartin.com, fredmartin.com, or
fredandmartin.com. You could book an appointment with us easily.
right away.
And your phone numbers are there too, which
Everything's
I know
there.
for
Email,
the old
phone
school
number, the whole
folk who don't
shebang.
want to do a Zoom or a Google Meet. Some people like to just give you a call. That's an
Right.
option as
No,
well.
but we love to meet people. So we're happy to get in the car, come out and see you, be it at Tim Hortons, whatever it is, whatever works for you, we'll accommodate your schedule. And that's 7 days a week.
Awesome. If you missed anything, you can listen to this show in its entirety on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Guys, our podcast is doing pretty well, actually. We're getting some serious numbers. People are listening. You guys are superstars.
People listen to it on my YouTube channel as well, to be honest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you upload it there as well every single week, so everybody can listen.
We'll say big fish in a small pond.
Yeah. For LJ, Fred, and Martin, I'm Robin. Have a wonderful Sunday.